everyone, and welcome to another captivating episode of the MolarBear. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Nikhil Marwah sir with us, a distinct figure in the field of pediatric dentistry, currently serving as Associate Dean Research at Mahatma Gandhi University of Medical Sciences and Technology and heading the Department of Pediatric and Preventive Dentistry. Sir has an illustrative career spanning over 19 years after his postgraduate. Well, welcome to the show, sir. Very welcome. Welcome to the show, sir. Thanks for your precious time.
Thanks, Dr. Ganendra, for actually inviting me on this very exciting platform, and I am so eager to share my, whatever I have for all these years with all your young generation.
Thank you
Thank you
very
for
much.
having me here.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Pleasure is all ours. So, well, sir, starting with very beginning, can you share with us how your journey in dentistry began?
Journey because I come from a family of doctors, and by doctors I mean doctors and not dentists. So I was the first dentist in my family, and in fact, when that entire thing panned out, even after I completing my first year of BDS, they were always behind my that shift to MBBS, shift to MBBS. You can do it now, and because they were not really against dentistry, but dentistry at that time was on a little slow burner. And in a family of all doctors, they would prefer a doctor any day. So that's how it all started. And in fact, if you ask me personally, I didn't even want to become a dentist.
Oh my
I
God.
wanted to do fashion design.
Sorry, you wanted
Actually
to do?
happened. I wanted to do fashion designing.
My God, this is a very new side of yours. I guess
Yeah.
no one
So
must be knowing this. Well, so that was
few
your
people
BDS
very close to
career.
me.
Yeah, that was your
Yeah.
BDS career. How did you choose pediatric dentistry in your master's, sir?
Now, during BDS, I realized that I have a special bond with children and love working with them. So that's how I thought ki probably pediatric dentistry is the only branch which I would, ever go into if I take a postgrad.
Okay, so basically you were close enough to the children not to be wrong, right? You loved children very
Uh,
much.
I love to play with them. I love to, handle them. And I thought that that's the best particular branch. It suits my acumen exactly.
Yeah. Well, sir, your achievements have been remarkable successfully, and in both national and international stages. Could you highlight one of your most significant achievement and the impact it had on your career?
I would say this was in 2009, and we came out with a journal that's International Journal of Clinical Pediatric Dentistry. And we just started that journal, and now it's a PubMed and changed my entire scenario towards research and, made me what I am today. So I guess that if you have a point out where, everything changed in my life, I would point it at that journal inception.
Wow. That was really nice to hear, sir. Now coming to something personal, sir. Being the editor in chief of an international journal of clinical pediatric dentistry and a member of various prestigious committees, how do you balance between your academics and your editorial responsibilities, sir?
Oh, that's quite easy. Because when you love something, you tend to do your best at it. So I love academics, and that's why I am still into teaching. I love dealing with children. That's why I still have my exclusive pediatric practice. And because I am, somewhere deeply rooted to research and academics both, so it's pretty easy for. I usually divide my time. Morning goes to college, evening goes to clinic, and my nights go to the journal. So I am a late sleeper. So it's easy for me to balance out the entire thing.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is quite interesting, and we are seeing different phases of you, which we don't see in the acknowledgement page of your book, basically. So, next
Yeah,
question.
because we cannot tell everybody that we are late sleepers.
Very true, sir. So, while talking about your textbook, sir, your textbook, that is textbook of pediatric dentistry, has been an cornerstone in dental education. Can you share your motivation behind writing it and its evolution through the editions?
Yeah. So what actually happened was during our post graduation days, we realized that we are supposed to read through multiple books, and we never got one book to read from. So it was like we always had to go through multiple books to come to any topic. So I actually started writing my textbook when I was in my post grad.
Wow.
So by the time I finished my postgraduate, and this was in 2004, my book was ready with me. And immediately I had gone to publisher. And in fact, what really happened that day is quite interesting story, because I went to JP Publishers, which was the biggest publisher, and they said that you are a novice and you're too young to write a book, and that book was in fact rejected at the first go. It was then taken up by some other publisher, that's Aurora Publisher. And then when JP found out, and the book started doing really well around 2006 and 7, JP went ahead and bought Aurora just for my book.
Wow.
So, and ever since that, I've been really close with JP Vid sir, who's the owner of JP, and it's been a remarkable journey through all the editions. We started from a small edition in 2006 to its current value now, which is probably the best-selling textbook in India and international also. I'm probably one of the few authors whose book is sold internationally in pediatric dentistry. So it's a good journey, it's a good progress, and I am blessed to have JP's blessings, because probably without them I wouldn't have been anything. And these guys have supported me a lot, so I absolutely love that, and it's like one family, and that's when you grow best, if you are working in a family environment. So that's what I love best about them.
Wow. So, any main, any problems which came during your books, or maybe something like that, other than the rejection part? Maybe in your when you were collecting your information, or when you were writing the book.
I wouldn't say problems, because I was pretty blessed to have good friends who contributed immensely to the book, good teachers who also contributed to the book, and excellent library facilities in Manipal and Davangere, where I graduated and post graduated from. So, data collection was never a problem. And, luckily, I guess probably nothing went wrong, let's put it that way. And nothing has ever since gone wrong. And it's contribution. We started off with around 15-20 contributors in my first edition, whereas I have more than 500 contributors in the current one, including around 100 international guys who are there. So it's just growing, it's a tree which just growing.
Wow, sir. Congratulations, and may God give you more success and you come up with more good books and more good addition, adding valuable things to the book. Well, sir, with over 50 research supervised and numerous of patents and copyright, what drives your passion for research, and how do you encourage research culture among your students?
To tell you the truth, my students are more passionate than me. So all these patents, all these publications which we have are actually the researches of our students. So they actually push us to push them. So it's like a mutual push to each other. And that's how it happens. Because if I say all these are mine, no, it would be wrong. These are all theirs. And actually, I just guide them. And, they are courteous enough to include my name. Let's put it that way. But my basic motto of research is, ever since, whether it's an undergrad or a postgrad, I always encourage them to think out of the box. And once they start thinking out of the box, they start to think new. Once they think new, that is what a research is. You're something totally new. So my most of my research I try to do. The focus is always on the current scenarios. The focus is always on what could be more acceptable in the general public, and that's how I like to do my research rather than doing the microbiology of it. I would always want to do the clinical component. So that's how we do it, and I am blessed to have students who are let's say much better than me. So that's what I would actually put this entire component on them, and I'm so glad that they were associated with me.
Oh, so
That's the truth, actually.
this is your greatness. So like a good, great teacher, you always put your students forward. Well, sir, something in general I would like to ask that Department of Pediatric is very young in dentistry compared to other department, if I'm not wrong. So, what are the scope? I mean, when people come to new field, like compared to other field, this is very new. So, what are the other scopes then people can find other than normal behavior management thing and appliances and all those things? What do you think is the future basically of pediatrics?
You're looking at a ticking time bomb, okay? And what you're looking at is a biggest possible thing which could be there, but is often overlooked. Now, why I'm trying to tell you this is all household have at least two kids, and you would do anything for your kid. You would not even do that same thing for yourself, but you would do it for your kid. So imagine the type of population you are going to cater to. And all kids these days, thanks to the junk foods, have definitely much more plethora of infections in their oral cavity, much more caries input, and in fact a WHO input put it as one in every second kid would have that or is having that. So you are looking at a very potentially big market, which nobody wants to explore. So that's the good part. If somebody don't doesn't want to explore something, you should go there because you always get the first movers advantage. Now, when you treat the kid, you get the faith of the parents, so your parents are also involved in your operatory. So if you have like a pediatric and a general practice, you can always have both the sets. So you start actually seeing families, so you're not just seeing one kid, you're seeing the entire family. So the entire scenario changes altogether. So scope, if you ask me, is abundant. All we need to do is just explore it, just be fearless enough to explore it.
Wow, sir. This was actually great to hear from your mouth. Well, sir, you have not only excelled in academics but also in sports. So, how do you manage to maintain a balance between your professional and a personal life, sir? This is a quite personal
uh,
question.
Yeah, no, but I actually love sports, and I love playing badminton, and I make sure that I have 1 hour of sports activity daily, irrespective of my academic or clinical schedule. So and I am blessed to have good friends who usually engage with me in those activities. So I make sure that I am actively involved in sports and personally playing. Plus, I always take part in any college events or inter college events which are happening, and I love to play sports. And I love to waste a lot of time on sports. Let's put it that way, even watching it.
Wow, sir. Well, sir, I would now like to ask you about your goals and the projects which you are currently working on. If you would like to tell us, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't say goals, but projects. Yes, I am working on multiple projects now because see, what we do in India is we have textbooks of a particular subject, whereas internationally we don't usually follow the textbooks. We have mini handbooks. So I am trying to work out some mini handbooks and some clinical based handbooks in which you can actually see the photograph and then do the treatment, which would be very beneficial for the clinicians who are not trained pediatric dentists. They could, the patient comes to them, they could just look through the photographs and they could just do the entire treatment, just fearlessly. So these are few things that I'm working on, and I won't call them goals, but yeah, these are targets which I'm working on.
Okay.
Goal is to, settle my kids and then just retire probably.
Actually, sir, illustration is the best way to learn something, and these
Yes, yes.
books, when they come into market, they are gonna help dentists a lot, especially for pediatrics. It's actually, pediatric dentistry is something like people fear from because of the kids, and this
Yes.
handbook is
Let's hope these books, get their fears out.
fingers crossed, sir. Hope this comes
Yeah.
soon. Well, sir, this is something which I ask to my every guest. that as someone with extensive academic experience, what advice do you have for budding dentists facing the initial hurdles of their career, sir?
Yeah, only one piece of advice. Whenever I do my presentations, whenever I talk to anybody, I always tell them I have only one piece of advice. And, that piece of advice is love what you do. I got this from Steve Jobs. He always said that you have to love what you do, and this is what I follow, and this is what I always preach. If you love what you do, you will never go wrong in life. You can never fail in life if you do that. So just have to keep on loving what you're doing, and then there is no looking back, and there's no chance of failures. It's all golden success.
Oh, sir. Thank you for this piece of golden advice. Well, sir, your journey is actually very inspirational for all of us. And thank you once again to bring a wealth of knowledge and your experiences from the world of pediatric. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming in the show.
Thanks a lot. It was a great platform. It was great talking to you, and all the best to all the your team for just giving me this opportunity so that I could talk to everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks again.
Welcome, sir. Welcome very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I'm your host, Dr. Ganendra, and as we wrap up this insightful conversation, I encourage all our listeners to connect with us on social media and keep an ear out for upcoming episodes of the MolarBear. Till then, stay engaged, remain inquisitive, and continue to share your wonderful smile with the world. Thank you for joining us today. Bye bye. Take care.